Assalamualaikum. My name is Ruda Qureshi and we will be presenting our discrete project which is the item level price co-movement network using CPI data. Let me briefly explain our data. We use data from the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics, the official source that tracks monthly prices of consumer goods across the country. We focus on 51 items, things like wheat flour, milk, petrol, and electricity across 17 cities, covering 3 years from March 2023 to March 2026. These items fall into seven categories like food, transport, and housing. We had two missing months, February 2024 and June 2025, which we filled using a simple interpolation method by averaging the surrounding months. The methodology overview includes that first we extracted data from 35 monthly files. Then, instead of comparing actual prices, we calculated month to month changes to focus on price movements. Next, we used cosine similarity to measure how similarly two items moved over time. When we checked how many cities showed the same pattern, if at least five cities agreed, we considered the relationship meaningful. Finally, we built a network where items are nodes and connections show similarity, and we use centrality measures to identify the most influential items. Now, talking about the cosine similarity tells us whether two items move together over time. If two items rise and fall in the same pattern, the score is close to 1. If unrelated, it's near 0. We set a threshold 0. 0.5 to capture meaningful similarity, not too strict, not too loose, and by requiring at least 5 cities to agree, we ensure the patterns reflect nationwide trends, not local noise. The key findings that we will be having is that one key result is how the network changed over time. In 1 year, we found 174 connections between items. In year 2, this dropped to 63, and in year 3, it slightly increased to 68. This reflects inflation trends. During high inflation in 2023 to 2024, many prices moved together, creating a dense network. As inflation eased, price movements became more independent and connections decreased. This shows our model successfully captured a real economic effect. Finally, the graphs make this clear visually. Year 1 is dense with many interconnected items showing widespread co-movement. In years 2 and 3, the network becomes much sparser and more fragmented. Instead of one large cluster, we see smaller groups of items moving together, indicating more localized patterns rather than economically wide shifts. Now, my next partner will be presenting the slides.
So in our project, we built graphs where the items are connected if their prices move together. Now this is a simple graph that shows us whether an item is connected or not, but it doesn't show us how strong this connection is. And this is where weighted graphs tell us how strong the connection between them are. For this purpose, we made two weight schemes. The in weight scheme, the weight on each connection is simply the number of cities that agree. For example, if 12 out of 17 cities showed that wheat, flour, and sugar move together, then the edge weight is going to be 12. The more cities that agree, the stronger the connection is. This was our weight scheme 1. Now, talking about weight scheme 2, the weight is the average cosine similarity across all 17 cities. So more about how similar the movement patterns were, not just how many cities that agreed. So a basic graph just tells us that these things are connected, but these weighted graphs and the schemes we chose give us different merits that tell us how strong these connections really are. Now I will be talking about the centrality. Now this is our centrality analysis result. It shows us that we have three bar charts and each showing a different kind of centrality. The first is the degree centrality, which shows which items had the most connections. And pulse mash comes out on the top, meaning that its price moved together with the highest number of other items. It is the most social node out of all the other nodes in the network, and it is connected to the most amount of nodes. The second chart is the closeness centrality. It shows which items are the most central in the network, meaning that they can reach all of the other networks with the least amounts of steps. Again, Pulse Marsh and Pulse Mazdoor rank the highest. If their prices change, this affects spreads quickly throughout the whole network because they are central to many others as well. And now the third chart is the between a centrality. It is different from both of the other centralities because it shows which items act as bridges between separate groups. Wheat flour bag ranked the highest here. This means that if this wheat flour bag got disconnected from the network, it would it would influence many other networks as well, and many other items would become disconnected from each other. It is a critical link. So in summary, Pulse Match is the most connected and the most central item, while wheat flour acts as the most important bridge between many different items. This was our centrality analysis result. Now moving on to the temporal analysis. Temporal analysis shows us how the networks changed over time. So we collected data of 3 years, and in these 3 years, we studied three different phenomena. The first is the stable central items like pulse mash and mutton. These are the items that were important in all 3 years. Their prices consistently moved with the rest of the economy, no matter what year it was. They kept on increasing, and they were high throughout the whole 3 years. Now, the second one are the lost central items. These include items like wheat flour. They were very important in year one during the inflation spike, but became less central in year two and three as things started to stabilize and inflation started decreasing. So their core movement was very temporary. It was only driven by inflation, and it started decreasing in year two and three. Now, the third list contains the gained central items. These are the items that became more important over time. Their prices started low, but they became more important in an economy in later years. Now, these three bar charts show us all of this data that I told you, but in visual form. The first shows connections developing sharply from year one to year two and three. The second shows the number of active nodes, and the third shows how these connections did not survive across all 3 years. This confirms that most price co-movement is short-term and event-driven, not permanent. Now, my group member Musfira will move.
This slide looks at what kind of connections existed in our network. Specifically, were items connecting with other items from the same category or from completely different categories. For example, if wheat flour connects with rice, that's a within category connection, both are foods. But if wheat flour connects with petrol, that's a cross category connection. One is food and one is transport, which are very different things. So what we found out was that in year one, more than 75% of all 174 connections were cross categories. So the majority of the price co-movement was happening between items that have nothing to do with each other on the surface. Look at the colored graph on the right. Each color is representing a different category, and you can see that there are lines connecting dots of different colors everywhere, especially in year one. What this tells us is that the inflation in 2023 to 24 was so broad and economy wide that it didn't matter what category an item belonged to. All of the things, wheat flour, petrol, long cloth, they were all rising together at the same time across multiple cities. And that is the signature of a nationwide economic shock, not a sector specific one. And by years two and three, you can see that things are connected within the same categories. Next slide, please. Okay, so for the sensitivity analysis, we chose the city count threshold as 5 and the similarity threshold as 0.5. But what would happen if we pick different thresholds? Would the results look completely different? That was what sensitivity analysis checked. So it made 48 different graphs because we used four similarity thresholds, four values of k across 3 years. So we built 48 graphs from scratch to see how much if the results change. So look at the two line charts on the right. The left one shows what happens when you change k, and the right one shows what happens when you change the similarity threshold. As k increases, the number of connections drop, which makes sense because we're requiring more cities to agree. And the right chart, which shows the graph how the graph changes when the similarity threshold is changed. So as you demand higher similarity, fewer pairs qualify. And the key takeaway is that year one always had significantly more connections than years two and three. So it was always at the top. And this confirms that our finding about inflation driven synchronization is real. It doesn't depend which specific thresholds we chose, and our choice of the value sits in the middle of these curves, which gives us a meaningful balanced graph that's neither too sparse and nor too cluttered. For the conclusion, to wrap everything up, our main finding is that the sharp drop in network connections from 174 in year 1 down to 63 and 68 in years 2 and 3 directly reflects the inflation synchronization, directly reflects the inflation synchronization which we discussed above, which happened because of the inflation in 2023 and 2024. When inflation hit, it pushed prices of almost everything together at the same time, which affected everything and every category. Our second finding was that pulse and meat items, for example, pulse, mash, cooked dal, and mutton, they were persistently central across all these 3 years, because these are the essential staple foods that Pakistanis buy regardless of economic conditions. So their prices are always tightly linked to the broader economy. And our third finding is that most of the connections we observed were short-lived, and very few item pairs stayed connected across all these years, meaning price co-movement is mostly driven by temporary economic events rather than permanent structural relationships in the economy. And by this project, we learned that how graph theory and network analysis can be a powerful tool for understanding economic data. And that's it. Thank you.